Hi, I'm Johnny, and this is Comics Altruism. This is my entry into Bear Island Comics Royal Guard contest, and I'll leave the link below so you can watch his announcement video and get all the details for yourself, but I'll just sum it up really quick. What he's asked us to do is to assess our best possible royal guard in the event that we became king or queen of Westeros, or at least aside from the independent kingdom of the north. So the 6 remaining kingdoms, you are now king or queen, and you get to choose 7 beings, I guess. He said people, and then in brackets to clarify, he said or beings or whatever, to be the royal guard. And so I know that I should be more sentimental than I'm about to be with this, but frankly, like, my wife is going to be there as my queen anyway. If there's progeny by the time I become king of Westeros, I'll have the kids there with me in the kingdom. I don't really need them to be my guard. In fact, I wouldn't want to put them in harm's way like that anyway. Not to say that that isn't adorable. How many other people have said something like that, and highly commendable as well. But he's asked us to write on a backing board a list and then slowly reveal. So number 1 for me is Superman. And I've chosen Superman obviously because he's totally badass, and if he's just going to be like my right-hand guard, he can basically go up against anything that Westeros has to offer in the way of formidable foes. And so he's just strictly Department of Defense. It's just Superman. There doesn't really need to be a remaining Department of Defense. It's just him. And then next, we've got Aquaman. But Aquaman, it has to be the Jason Momoa version, because as we know from the Game of Thrones universe, people come back from the dead. And so if Daenerys comes back from the dead, we need to convince her that there's a reason to be a pacifist when it comes to possibly usurping my throne. And it's not like I need her as a queen, because I already have mine. And she's probably watching. Love you. Anyway, so she's going to need him to convince her, oh yeah, I'm Dothraki, but I forgot how to speak Dothraki while I was dead. So I'm just going to speak to you in English since you speak English anyway. Not to mention that he is totally badass when it comes to anything aquatic. If I have any problems with the Iron Islands, he'll just destroy them, like no problem. Next up, not that Superman wouldn't as well, but you may as well have a guy in the ocean. Poison Ivy. Not only do we get along in our environmentalist opinions, but also she would be a great head of the Department of Agriculture. So, food for everybody. No worries about famine, etc. Next up, we've got Kilgrave. He's going to be the head of my Department of Diplomatic Relations. And I know it's a little unfair to call it diplomacy when in fact it's just straight up manipulation, but I feel that he would definitely squash any possible dissent that might be going around in the kingdom. Not that there would be, because everybody's got food and everybody's got Rick Sanchez to bring the party. Because when we need to get Swifty to bring everybody down a notch and make everybody relax, dude knows how to party. Not to mention that Kilgrave might need some amplification. Rick Sanchez can just invent that, because after all, he's the smartest man in the universe, as far as I know, in all of the different dimensions. And, you know, even though I'm over 6 years sober at this point, I do like to vicariously live through people who are still partying. And so anything we might need, like television or whatever, he'll just make it happen. He knows how to extract resources. He knows how to build manufacturing plants. Not to say that I would want to destroy Westeros like we've destroyed the planet Earth, but, you know, it might be nice to have somebody who can push things forward a little bit. Next up, this is a deep cut here, but Stanley Spadowski. And if you're not familiar, he is the world's greatest custodian. So he's the head of the Department of Sanitation for me. And in the event that none of the above are able to squash any kind of insurgency or anything, all I have to do is take away his mop and tell him that it was taken by whomever. Oh yeah, the North took it. So I'm just going to like gift you to the North, and then you're just going to have to go and have them drink from the fire hose in their sleep. if you know what I mean. And so he would be an excellent tool because no one would suspect Stanley Spadowski. If you haven't seen UHF, you'll know what I mean. Not to mention that I could use somebody to kind of remind me of my own benevolence as a ruthless dictator. Next up, the last one, we've got Big Bird, Department of Education. And also, it's good to indoctrinate, even though I got Kilgrave up there anyway, it's good to indoctrinate children at a young age to appreciate their king. And, show them to worship me as the god that I basically should be for them. And, while we're at it, let's just make him undead, because that's cool. And not to mention, if he's at my side and he's basically like the mountain anyway. Like, have you seen the guy that plays Big Bird? Massive. So, we'll make him undead just so that he's got that extra super strength. And you can't kill something that's already dead, right? So he might be my bodyguard if Superman's off saving some crumbling castle somewhere or something. All right, so Bear Island Comics. Firstly, congratulations on that JP's budget collecting contest. It was awesome seeing those Immortal Hulks in your hands. Thank you for the contest, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what else you're adding to that and also to seeing your list. The reception that this contest has had is great, and like the variety of responses that you've seen is also phenomenal too. It's always nice to see people putting out contests that require a little bit of creativity on the part of the applicants. All right, thanks a lot. Love your stuff. Have a good day or night or whatever it is for you at this time. Bye.